Welcome back to season 2 of the I Do Crew podcast. Happy New Year to
Happy
you.
New Year, Jen. Happy New Year.
How have you spent the last couple of weeks in the new year?
I would like to say the new year has brought health and prosperity to our household, but in fact, it's brought flu and misery. So since Christmas, somebody in my house has been ill, and I just have felt like a nurse running around. So, tonight, as we're recording, I've got my makeup on, I'm feeling good, and I've just left everybody coughing upstairs.
Yeah,
So, how's your New Year been?
good for you. Well, Ian and I spent New Year's Eve watching the Daniel Craig Bond movies.
Did you do them from beginning to end all the way through?
Yes, in
Oh,
sequence, yeah.
I love a good series binge of films like that.
I also kept saying things like, "Oh God, if you look like that." Oh, you could look like that if you did this. Or oh, you'd actually look really nice in that if you look like that.
In that $1 million suit.
And it's all like the nice jumpers that he wears and his sunglasses, just the whole thing. I loved it.
Yeah, I think James Bond movies are good because they do look good in a tux, but also that casual
Hmm.
kind of rugged wear that just mind blowing. All of the Bonds.
Yes, all of them in a crisp white t-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm
That
here
no
for it.
matter how much they roll around on the floor or hang from buildings or go after the bad guys, always seems crisp and white. It just has a little smudge
Yeah,
neatly placed on one corner, doesn't it?
yeah. If that.
Beauty. If life was a Bond movie, eh, Jen?
It could be if you look like as Ian will tell you. Please like, subscribe, rate, and review our podcast on the platform that you listen or watch us on. We really appreciate your support. Thank you so much for still being here with us. Had some lovely messages over the Christmas period just from some of our day ones. So thank you so much for coming back for season 2. If you are new to this season, drop us a DM on our Instagram account. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to know at what stage you are going through your wedding planning process yourself. And if you've got any questions that you want us to cover off or topics that you want us to cover off on the podcast, we are all ears.
We are also attempting to record and film again, aren't we, Jen?
I mean, I didn't want to even mention what's currently happening.
So at the beginning of season 1, we were filming ourselves if you listen on YouTube, you would have seen that you saw our lovely, beautiful faces pulling all sorts of grimaces. And then we realised that our technology just wasn't capable and our skill just wasn't capable of doing that. So we then just went to audio. But we've thought, new year, new us, we're going to give this a go again. So wish us luck, guys.
And you could see us coming to a YouTube channel near you if it all works. Or if you'd like to donate to our studio, we accept cash or checks. This week we're talking all things 2024 trends. This was your idea, Em, to cover off what's trending in the wedding scene, what to look out for, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I also thought it might be nice to recap on the trends from 2023. Some of them I think must have passed me by, and some of them I think are also falling into this year as well. So I think
Yeah.
there's probably going to be a few crossovers. Do you have a favourite trend from 2023? Just gonna throw you on the spot there.
Um, I really loved uh that people were mixing fabrics and mixing materials. So there was a lot of disco balls with rustic pieces of furniture, and so I really liked that kind of, was it called juxtaposition?
I think that is what it's called.
Look
Throwing that
at
in there.
me.
Not even
um
5 minutes in yet.
I know, just on fire. So I really liked like that. What about you?
Well, I didn't realise it was referred to as this, but I really like the 80s aesthetics thrown in.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of a big bow. I'm a huge fan of shoulder pads. I'm a huge fan of statement colours in block. I just love the whole thing. And when I was doing the research for this episode, 80s aesthetics was used throughout the whole of the industry last year, even
Yeah.
with detail on dresses. And I've seen it quite a lot over the last few weeks where Instagram and TikTok are throwing all wedding videos at me. Massive bows with big long trains is still
That's here.
very much a
That's here to
thing.
stay.
That is here to stay, and I'm here for it
Yeah.
because the bigger the bow, the better. I
Yes.
ordered some Christmas coloured-ish bows. So a red one, a navy one, a black one, and I think a white one. Because I have a really big statement black bow that I wear to, I mean, this is going to sound awful, but funerals or just that kind of, it's sort of slightly out there that you can get away with it at funerals and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
They arrived, got them out the package, and was like, "What the fuck's this?" So, what do you mean?
It's my new hair accessory, darling.
They're bows for my hair. He's like, "When have you ever worn a bow in your hair?" I can refer back to 3 formal events in the last 12 months where I have in fact worn a black bow in my hair. He was like, "No, I've never seen you do. You have been there with
Yeah.
me whilst I'm wearing it, but no recollection.
No.
Wore it on Christmas Day, didn't bat an eyelid."
Just so observant.
And they've got really nice long, like long, I don't know what you call the
Tails.
long, yeah, tails, long tails to the back, just in the flowy hair, and yeah, it just looks great.
Yeah.
So I'm here for it. I'm here for a big shoulder pad and bows. So if I am a guest at your wedding this year, expect shoulders and bows.
Yeah. I think coming out as 24, there's a big thing with wedding. I think we'll talk about it later, but wedding dresses have got quite a lot going on, and big
Mhm.
bumbos are in.
I just love it.
Yeah.
And having a beautiful long train. Anyway, spoiler alert, because I was just stealing all of your content.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
2023. What was happening?
2023. Let's throw back to 2023, all those weeks ago. High impact florals and bold colours.
Yeah.
So, like real statement pieces. So, we did a photo shoot in, this must have been October 22, I think it was. Yeah, it wasn't like, yeah, October 2022. And statement bold florals is what it was all about. So I don't know if you remember, but they had those aisle runner floral displays
Yeah.
and statement colours, big bold colours were chosen, statement florals, so that there was high impact for the guest and for, you know, anyone looking at it, and the photographs, all of that kind of thing. The bouquets were high impact. They were really statement pieces.
Yeah.
And bold, there were a lot of bold colours that came through the weddings that you and I did last year. If you are new to the podcast, Em and I run a side hustle along the side of the podcast and our full-time jobs, of wedding styling and prop hire. So Lichen and Lights is our wedding styling company. So hit us up on Instagram if you want to see what we've done. There's also lots of visuals from this photo shoot because it was autumnal colours, but really rich
Yeah.
Albany oranges, golds. It was just, I think the flowers really complemented the colours that we were using.
Yeah. I don't Florals did, I think last year was a big thing. People were investing in florals and bigger display pieces.
Hmm.
So we did quite a few like little sort of posy jars, but there was bigger display pieces that people were moving around. So as you walked in, there was lots of high impact florals. So yeah.
And I don't know if you remember, we also did an outdoor wedding last year, and on the hexagon frame, they had these 2 floral installations attached to the hexagon frame, and with the fabrics, and it just looked stunning.
Yeah.
Really made this ceremony, I would say.
Yeah. Yep.
Next on my list is 80s aesthetics. Structured shoulder pads, pearls, oversized bows.
Yeah. Definitely.
I don't remember a pearl last year.
There was lots of sort of inspo pics that was coming through, I think, that had pearls on dresses, and shoes were pearly. Not so much decor and stuff, but I think what the bride wore was very there was quite a few pearls going on.
Mhm. I love a pearl veil.
I know, little pearls all over it.
Is it like little dots of heaven cascading through the veil? It just
I
looks so beautiful.
I tell you what I love about pearls is it gives a piece of fabric texture and catches the light without being sparkly.
Mm,
So, if you were to put diamonds or diamantes on there, it would be sparkly, and sometimes that can look a little bit tacky.
mm.
But pearls, they have that sort of opulence without being sparkly. It's like shimmery and adds sort of some dimension. That I love pearls.
I don't know if anyone's playing buzzword bingo as we go along, but you have used juxtaposition, opulence. What's happening?
I don't know, I think I was reading a dictionary before I came on. Little Miss Dyslexic in the corner.
Forget about our geography skills. Your English has come on leaps and bounds.
I think it's because I've had nothing to do all Christmas, so I've been reading.
I can tell. I'm telling you that right now. Tech savvy wedding planning. I feel like we did a whole episode on this because I couldn't understand and couldn't believe that you can do all of your, well, invitations, etc., all online. I had an invitation towards the end of last year for a wedding. Literally there's an itinerary on there, you RSVP on there, there's a dress code, the whole thing. They've got pictures of their relationship together on there. They've got their gift list on there and their donation site if you want to make a cash donation, all that gifts, all of that kind of thing.
Donation.
Plus, donation to my wedding.
That's
Thank you
excellent.
for coming.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's here to stay too.
I also think that Canva is revolutionary
Yeah.
because you can just create anything, content for your Instagram accounts,
Yeah, you
anything,
can.
imagery. You can do your wedding invitations. You can
And you
do,
can keep it all digital, or you can send it to a printer to get it printed.
yeah,
Yeah. I think that is here to stay, but also I won't spoil it, but there's something else coming on sort of wedding stationery, I think, in 2024 that's quite exciting.
also drones.
Yeah.
Drones are coming, guys. I mean, we're having a bit of a party in the summer, beginning of the summer for Ian's big birthday this year. And I hope he's not listening. He doesn't tend to listen unless he hears us talking about what we were talking about. We can't have fireworks on site for where we're having the party because it's a farm, a working farm, so it's just not possible. But there are these up and coming small companies that are doing, I mean, the whole tech stuff behind it, I don't really understand because I'm not very techy, as you can tell from the multiple things that we record our podcast with. But they basically, because I was asking in loads of questions, because we watched the drone show slash fireworks at New Year's, because obviously we stayed in watching the Bond movies. And I just can't. I said, where are all these people flying these drones, and how do they make sure that they're all in the right, like, how are they doing it all at the same time? Obviously, it's a computer program, and they just program the computers to make sure that all of the drones are doing the sequence. So I looked into it a bit more. There are these small businesses up and coming that do drone shows or drone displays, depending on how they're marketing themselves, for mega companies or for your wedding.
I know. Amazing.
And you can work with the company to create this story that the drones then tell as part of your evening entertainment. I was like, this is the best thing that I've ever seen.
Yeah. You're stealing my thunder again,
Oh, right.
Jen.
Oh, okay, sorry.
We're still on 2023.
I think it's because I am so forward thinking. I already know
Don't
what's
want to look in
coming.
the past.
Sustainability was trendy and I think necessary in 2023.
Yeah,
So a lot of brands and a lot of suppliers are trying to move more into a sustainability approach using sustainable products, sustainable fabrics, all of that kind of thing. We definitely are.
yeah,
Recycled, repurposed items, all of that kind of thing. And I think it's just at the forefront of people's minds, particularly now, generationally, I think. 60 years ago, if you were planning a wedding, you wouldn't have really cared about the impact that your wedding would have had on the environment or the suppliers
but
that
they
you're
also wouldn't
using.
have. They wouldn't have had that much more of an impact, would they?
No.
It's kind of about 10, I think, years ago. We started to sort of do all these things where we were having everything that couldn't be reused, but then we were just chucking everything in landfill. We weren't really worried about it,
Hmm.
and so it's come back again. But in the
Yes.
50s and 60s, they just didn't do weddings like we do it now.
Well, no, and I think there's an episode in that because my mum's always saying to me, "Oh, well, we didn't have this when I was planning my wedding and looked very different back in my day." Not that she's that old, it all sounds like that, but you get the
Wasn't like
drift.
that in my day.
During the war. No, she's not that old. Sorry, Mum, because I know that you actually do listen every week. So, um, outdoor weddings, very trendy last year.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think an outdoor wedding is good because if you have your whole wedding inside, which is fine, it can make the day feel longer because your
Mm,
guests don't have different areas to go in. But if you have your outdoor ceremony and then you have your dinner inside and then you have drinks outside, your guests are moving in and out and it makes the flow of the day feel exciting.
hmm.
And it's nice to get some fresh air and stuff. And if you're all just stuck in one room all day, it can make the day feel a bit more long and boring.
And I'm a bit of a germaphobe, breathing in people's particles all day. I want to be mixing it up and moving rooms and having a bit of fresh air there. And
Breathing in people's particles.
I'm glad that this is a remote podcast, Em, because there's no way that I would be coming into your house right now, breathing
No,
in coughed particles.
I think
Absolutely
our
not.
house is definitely a danger zone.
Yeah, I'm not coming in. And can
Site
you
X.
imagine? Can you imagine that? Oh, someone's like, "Oh yeah, I'm just getting over a chest infection, but wanted to come to the wedding." No, just stay at home for all our sakes, because nobody wants to hear during their wedding video, do they? No, I don't.
No.
Says the bride who had their wedding just after lockdown. But nobody had COVID.
No.
Nobody was coughing. Nobody was allowed to even breathe. Well, no, they could have, but they didn't dare. So, weekend long celebrations. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of that.
Yeah.
Very trendy in 2023. Spread it out.
That's here to stay too, I think.
Elevated wedding budgets.
Does that mean more?
Spend it.
Spend more money?
What I think, I've been thinking about this a lot lately because our good friend Tyler is going through her wedding planning and all of that kind of thing. And if I was to do it again, if I want to spend X amount on whatever it is that I'm looking for, I'm going to spend it because you're only going to do it once,
Yeah.
supposedly. And if it's going to make you happy and if it's going to make your day, just do it because your wedding memories last a lifetime. Your credit card bill can last 12 months if you plan. Not that I'm saying spend 25 grand on your venue if you can't afford that or get into debt over it. I'm not saying that. But actually, if you wanted to have personalized Polaroids as your name places for your guests when they sit down at the table, and it's going to cost you £400 instead of what you budgeted, maybe 200, just do it because you won't regret that.
No. But don't get into
Oh no,
don't get
don't get
into
into
debt.
debt or do anything that I tell you to do on this podcast, and then sue me when it all goes wrong. This is one that I really liked. Big send-offs or farewells. So you have, I don't know if you've seen these videos on TikTok or Instagram stories, is where these couples have, it's to me it's quite traditional, but I didn't do this at my wedding. So when you come out of your registry office or church or wherever you're having your ceremony, big send-offs. So really celebrating that confetti moment, really celebrating that exit slash departure of your ceremony. If you decide to leave the venue ahead of everybody else off on your honeymoon, have a big send-off, make a big deal
Yeah.
about it, because the joy on people's faces. We did a confetti run, which was quite similar. You sort of got that, but it was not, I mean, it was staged, but the
They
pictures and the
well,
content were great.
yeah. Confetti moments are always staged,
Yeah.
but you don't have to make it feel staged. I think it's sad that because couples now tend to stay right to the end of their party, which I
Yeah.
get. You want to be on that dance floor, living your best life with a cocktail in your hand till the very last minute. But you
Yeah.
do, but guests do start to dwindle
Mm,
because people are a bit tired, and so that last hour, people are starting to dwindle home. I think I think you need to leave half an hour before everybody else. So
mm,
you do get that big send off. People can wave you as you're driving off in the car or stumbling away in a taxi or however you exit.
mhm.
But I think it's nice that they send you off
Yeah, I
because it's
think
only
so
half an
too.
hour, and that half an hour is like carnage normally, isn't it?
I had a great time. I stayed till the very end. Did you have a send off? Because you were staying on site, weren't you?
Yeah,
Where's
we
oh
did.
no, you
We didn't stay on site. I thought we were going to go home, but Jordan had arranged for us to go to a sort of like nice little B&B type thing, and we borrowed one of our friends' cars, which is like a nice convertible thing. So we did have a bit of a send off, and we left about half an hour before most people
okay.
left.
Yeah,
But I didn't plan that because I thought we were just going home. So Jordan was like, "Come on," and like everybody got me in the car, and it was really really nice. And also, you then don't have to be there when they turn the lights on, and you're like,
true.
"Oh God," like
Yeah,
that
true.
drunken vibe that you get in a club.
Yeah, 3 o'clock in
And
the
then
cab and
everybody else
you
stays a bit and tidies up a bit for you. It's amazing.
oh yeah, that is true. I was the one turning off the tea lights.
Yeah, so I would say leave half an hour and get everybody to wave you off,
Yeah,
and
that's a
then
good
leave
idea.
everybody else to sort out whatever's left in the mess.
Yeah. Feeding back to the elevated wedding budgets, smaller guest list, but a bigger experience. That's one
Y-
way to if you've got less guests, you've got less people to feed and drinks and all of that kind of thing. So you can afford to then spend money on the experience more than the amount of people.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's here to stay too, I think.
Sweetheart tables. Didn't realise
Yeah.
that was a new trend for 2023.
Yeah, I think that was a 22, 23 trend. I
Mm.
love it. A sweetheart table is where you don't have a top table with like 6 or 7 or 8 people sat on it. What you have is you have just the two of you. Makes for really nice styling, makes for a really nice quiet moment between the two of you because you don't see each other. I love it.
I think it's nice because then you can chat.
Yes.
And also for a guest, it's a bit awkward coming up to a table of two, isn't it?
Yeah, nobody will come and speak to you.
Nah, they're talking. I'm just going to wait a minute. Then you'd be like, oh, shall I go now? No, they're about to serve the food. It's a great idea.
And also, you don't have to feel like you have to turn your back to your partner that you've just married to speak to your mother-in-law or whatever. You don't have anybody else to speak to apart from each other. So
That's
I
nice.
love them.
Last but not least, outfit change for the evening. I'm a huge fan of two outfits. Why not?
Yeah, I definitely would have done that if I got married. We've talked about this before. I would have put my bride tracksuit on and put my trainers on so I could actually dance without any hindrance.
Wouldn't that have been great
Yeah,
to just put a tracksuit on? I'm going to put my
absolutely.
joggers on, guys,
See ya.
and eat the food. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to dance in my trainers
Yeah,
and trousers.
exactly. Exactly.
What have you got for 2024, Em? What are the
So,
trends coming
so
at
there
us?
So there are a lot of things that are sort of the same, I think. But some of the things that I've seen come through are there's a lot of people doing like tonal looks. So we did see it
Oh,
in 2023 where you'd have bridesmaids and they'd all have varying colours of pink on. So it adds a lot of dimension. Not everybody's in the same thing. And then all of your decor is kind of different varying tones of that colour you've picked. It's a
mhm.
really simple way to add a lot of dimension, I think, to your wedding. Um,
Yeah, I like that.
Bold, striking colours and statement florals are still here. I think
Hmm.
people are getting away from the pink roses and starting to choose more exotic flowers and making statements of them.
Hmm.
Wedding dresses, I think we're going to see quite a lot of embroidered wedding dresses. So going away,
Really?
yeah, going away from just plain white dress to embroidered dresses with florals on.
Like, are we
Um,
talking lace or are we talking
Bit of both, I think.
floor? So this is going to sound really horrible, and I apologise if you're a listener. I don't think you are because I checked you know. But I follow a lot of wedding groups on Facebook, selling sites, and somebody shared their they bought their wedding dress 5 years ago, and due to circumstances, they postponed their wedding. And now, when they've revisited that dress that they bought, they're not into it. When I looked at the dress, I'm going to try and describe it to you. It was like if you imagine going on holiday to Hawaii and they put the leis around your neck.
Yeah,
Imagine those in white stuck along the um, strap with super glue, stuck them on. Then they come down in like a sweetheart neckline. I'm
yeah.
glad I'm recording this so you can see me passing where the flowers are being stuck on. Then down the middle, like two rows
So you
of
can
these,
see the belly button.
so you can see like a line that goes down. Then they sweeped off to the side into lots more, and these diamantes, and it just all looked a bit
Too much.
too way too far.
Yeah. This is more having a white lacy dress with some beautiful embroidered flowers along one arm or along the train to give a bit of colour. So
Mhm.
it's I think it's going to be really pretty. And again with the dresses, big bum bows. And I think we're going to see more separates.
Oh yeah, I do like a little
So
two
like a
piece.
top and skirt or top and trousers or
Yeah,
something a bit more edgy.
I
And I
just
think that
really
goes in
like
line
that.
with one of the other things that's coming out, and it's being a small like a more intimate weddings. So a
Hmm.
wedding where you've only got 20 people.
Hmm.
So you wearing your your suit is much more in keeping in that
Mm.
kind of vibe.
Yeah, I love
So
that.
I think that's really gonna come through.
I think it
Um,
also helps to personalize your wedding as well. So you're not trying to make yourself fit into the wedding dress style. The wedding dress style is now able to fit into your style.
yeah,
Just gives more variety for people who find shopping traumatizing.
yeah, exactly. And if you don't ever wear a dress,
Mm.
why would you want to wear a
I
dress on your
don't
wedding day?
know. Why would you?
Yeah. Or if you always wear big flowery tops and dresses, why not incorporate that into your like look? So I think that
Well,
people are playing around with it,
I
playing
know where you
around
can
with it.
buy a second-hand dress from. I think it was under 500 quid, so don't think it's sold yet. Surprise, surprise.
Get in touch if you're interested.
If you're having like a Hawaiian wedding, I know where you can get your dress.
You mentioned it there, the personal touch. So there's lots of things like wedding newspapers I've been seeing. So your guests get to read a bit of a newspaper, and it's got a bit about you and a couple of your favourite things to do.
That's so cute.
So people can read it, and it's like makes it cool for wedding photos because
Yeah.
everybody's got their big papers in front of them. Lots of personal touches on decor and the way you name the tables and all of that type of thing. I think you just can put yourself in your wedding. Don't be
Mm.
scared because every wedding you've been to has table 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can name them after your favorite Chinese restaurants or whatever you
It's a
whatever you
great
want.
idea. The Green Dragon. Hoi fan, in my case.
Ours is called the Little Kitchen.
That's what a great name.
It's a tiny little kitchen too.
That's so cute. I love that.
Only one person can stand in and order at once.
What? Is it
Yeah,
in their house?
pretty much. Well, it's on, one of these tiny little streets that has a newsagent's, a pub, a betting shop, and a hairdresser's,
Yeah.
and then they've got Chinese. It is a shop, but they've just taken the whole shop over with kitchen, and so there's no like, which is fair enough if it's just
So
a takeaway.
do you step through the door
Step
and
through
the
the door, and then
till
there's
is there?
like two little spaces where you can stand and order. It's cute, cute. Anyway,
That's
that's the Little
amazing.
Kitchen. We're not here to talk about our
Sorry.
local Chinese restaurants. um,
Oops.
I think more people are paying attention to the guest experience.
Mm,
So, like we were saying earlier, um, the sort of drone shows, lots of entertainment, live music, live artists, sort of interactive stuff that your guests can do, audio guest book, acrobats, like it's all about entertaining your guests throughout the day and less about you and like
yeah.
everybody looking at you. It's more about having a bit of a experience for your guests.
The audio guest book.
Yes,
Can you imagine the audio guest book from like 8:30, 9 onwards?
absolutely brilliant.
I y- you know what it's like when you video your night out and you're at a different experience or whatever, and somebody's videoed something, and there's videos of you like towards the end of the night. That's what your audio guest book is going to be like.
Yeah. So at the beginning, you'll get your parents and your nan and granddad. Oh, we're so happy for you, dear. We can't believe it. You look so beautiful. The day's so lovely. And then right at the end, you get your best man. Yeah, right, man, you're doing great. And that's what it's about. That is a
But then
proper expression of your day, how it went.
you could also set it up so it's like a priest's confessional towards the end of the night. So people go into the confessional like, "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned." But it's actually more like, "I'm going to tell you what he should have told you 7 years ago when we went on the golf trip to Portugal." It
Yeah,
could turn into that,
yeah, it
which
could.
terrifies me.
So you can get companies in to sort of run your audio guest book, or
Okay,
you
phew.
and they're like there are like little old telephones that you can just pick up and speak into, but you can also like hire old telephone booths that you can go into. So that is very confessional at the end of the day because you shut the door behind you and you'd be confessing to all sorts of stuff. I think that's brilliant.
Brilliant on one hand, but risky on the
Risky.
other.
Oh, well, I suppose it depends what kind of circles you go in, Jen.
Yeah, you're like, "Oh, I think it's a great idea." I'm like, "Oh God, please, no."
Um, Guess what? I did some research like you, and wedding scents are going to be all the rage.
I
And
told you I'm a visionary. I
yeah,
said this in 2021.
yeah. And it's not about the perfumes that you wear, it's about the scent of your wedding.
I'm telling you, we're going to have a great business year end because we're going to start a drone company on the side of everything else shortly as well, run down how to computerize my programs. I'm telling you, Wedding scent, we've been there.
Yeah,
We are currently there. All of
yeah,
our weddings this year that we have booked in for our side hustle have opted in extra or have chosen the package that includes wedding scent.
yeah,
Just tell you, imagine, let's picture this, future brides and grooms. You've booked your wedding at a lovely venue during cherry blossom season. So you've got all these, shades of pink, the beautiful florals. What if everyone walked into your wedding reception and they smell cherry blossom scent? Lovely.
lovely.
That's what we can create.
We can create that for you. And it really
Christmas
does make
weddings, Christmas candles. Who doesn't love a Christmas candle at a Christmas wedding?
exactly. And it also makes the next day when you normally walk into a wedding and it smells a bit like
Yeah, rank.
boozy old death and leftover food.
Hmm.
We can walk in and we've still got that scent
Yeah.
to mask the booze.
Mask the debauchery that happened on the audio guest book the night before. And also, what a great thing to take away. So, we always allow the bride and groom to obviously keep their wedding scent candles. Take that home. You can gift those if you want to maybe your mum and your mother in law, and then keep them and then light them on your anniversaries. I just think it's a great keepsake.
Yeah.
Let's just see how many other wedding stylists come up with their own candle making service then, because I'm telling you right now, we are one of two. And the second one only did it because they saw that we did it. So get in line because we still have some availability if that's what you're looking for this year. Not a lot, so DM us ASAP.
Okay. I think 2024 is going to be the year of the ceilings. Now, go with me.
Interesting.
Go with
I'm
me
here for
here.
it.
I don't mean Artex ceiling of an old building, but I think more and more people are going to be decorating their venue from the ceiling down. So there's going to be lots of
Interesting.
drapery, lots of flowers hanging down, lots of cool vintage lampshades hanging down, making a really beautiful experience for your guests to walk into.
Hmm.
Year of the ceiling.
I'm here for it.
Cool.
We have seen this coming out a little bit over the last 12 to 18 months, I would say, but not a lot. Just
No.
little pockets of just different ways of dressing, mainly around florals. So I've seen people get these sort of, I'd say that they're probably old scaffold boards, and they've drilled holes in them and they've put either upside down floral installations or they've put milk bottles along the top and put their florals into those milk bottles just to create something a little bit more suspended, a little
Yeah.
bit more dynamic in the room. I'm telling you, I think you're onto something here, Em.
I definitely am. We are visionaries, Jen.
We probably need to start brainstorming.
Brainstorming how to build equipment to hang things from ceilings.
And who's going to be responsible for that?
Oh, that's our
Sounds like a Jeff job.
logistics department.
Sounds like a Jeff job to me.
Our volunteers. Um, this one I'm not a fan of, but I
Okay.
think it's coming.
Is it
And
something around jackets?
no, no, it's coming, and it started in the America, so the UK then jumps on that bandwagon, and it's oyster bars. I think rather than a sweet table or a
Ah,
crisp wall, we're going to be having oyster bars. We are definitely going to need them scented candles. Yeah, fresh oysters.
sorry. What?
Yeah.
For your average, not average, because no one's wedding's average, but like if I was to get married again, I'm one of the average normal people. I'm going to be having an oyster bar, am I?
Well, I think you're going to try.
Oh, I don't think so, no. But if you think about it from a hygiene perspective, you're not going to have people dipping their hands into the oyster jars like they do with the sweet jars, are they? It's just oyster shell down in one. There's no like repeat hands going onto that. It's just
No.
been sat out on ice for like 5 hours while you've had your ceremony.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's coming.
are you sure?
Well, yeah, I think so, Jen. I mean, we tend to do weddings that are a bit more rustic in barns and things. So maybe not it's so much in that space, but I think if you envision a high-end hotel, that's got
We're
the
talking like the
mon
Savoy.
well, I think it probably would start there and then it will trickle down to the Holiday Inn that's got a nice shiny floor.
No, no, it won't. Because the people. Okay.
I'm not saying that everybody's going to eat the oysters, but I think we're going to have a few.
I used to
Going,
work in the service industry, and I mean, I love to learn new skills, but I really don't think that the people that work at the front desk or as part of the events team at the Holiday Inn are going to want to know about what you have to do with the oysters.
no, you get a special company in to do it. It's like the new pizza van.
Are you telling me that Oyster Van Thursday is on the cusp of becoming a thing?
Yeah, that is exactly what I'm
I
telling
just,
you.
if I'm at LA wedding for sure, I'm getting married at the Savoy, okay, fine. I can't even tell you a high-end venue in this local area that I would be like, oh yeah, oyster serving area. Yeah. No,
Wow, this time next year, shall we see who wins that?
well,
Wins that argument?
I know that you love a good competition and winning, so it was only a matter of time before there was a competition on the podcast. Yes, we will see because I'm struggling a little here.
Okay, let's wait then. I'll move
Maybe
on.
maybe I'm not going to the right weddings. Maybe I should have an oyster bar at Ian's birthday.
Can you
Just
imagine if everybody got a bad oyster though? 45 minutes into your wedding, everybody's had their first oyster ever because nobody's ever tried one before.
no,
And then everybody
I've
has to
never had
go
one.
home because they've got
Allergic reactions.
they're sick. Your audio phone booth is no longer
No,
confessional. It's a place to hide your soiled underpants.
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't need to go there, but I did. Anyway, moving on. Talking of underpants,
Oh, really?
yes. I think we're going to see more and more people setting guest dress codes.
Okay, I was a bit worried about where we were going for a quick snack there.
Tenuous link, but I think we're going to see more people saying, "Could you wear neutral tones, black and white, please?"
I also don't think there's anything wrong with that. I love a dress code. Tell
Yes,
me what to wear, and I will turn up in it.
yes. Takes the guesswork away, doesn't it?
And also, they need like if you had, oh, let's all have a group picture of everyone that attended our wedding, and everyone's in like mishmash craziness. No,
Yeah,
I wish I'd had a black and white wedding. I honestly do.
yeah.
Because then black and white photographs, everybody is in black or white or black and white. I would have had all of my bridesmaids in really structured black tie, black dresses. I just think it looks so like bow tie. I just love the whole, oh, love
Yeah.
the whole thing.
It also it looks really nice if you're having a bit more of a barn type wedding. If you say, can everybody wear tones of green and blue, it
Hmm.
just look everybody chooses something different, but
Yeah.
it just looks so nice. And then
Yeah.
if your florals are like bright pink, they it just makes them stand out more rather than Auntie Maud who's bought her really colourful dress who's like sat next to your really expensive floral display and ruining it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think watch out for being told what to wear to weddings.
Well, can't wait because I'm here for it.
Yeah, me too. His and hers cocktails, you know, like the ring for cocktail. You can get like
Yes.
companies
Ring
that
for
come in and
champagne. Yeah.
install like a big board, and you
Yeah.
can ring a his or her bell, and then a cocktail pops through the little
That's a great idea.
really, it's another interactive thing that people
Yeah.
can do. You don't just go up and pick up a glass of bubbly. You go up, you ring a bell, you pick which one you want. It's
Yeah.
like fun, entertaining. Um, Wedding content creators.
I mean, I've seen this. Is this a con? I'm not sure. Is it?
Well, so the way I understand it, I've not seen any in real life, but the way I understand it is you have your official photographer and your videographer, and they are there to make your wedding look as beautiful as possible and get their memories. But you have like, it can be like a 6-week turnaround before you see
That is true. Yeah.
any footage. All you've got is your friends and families on their iPhone.
True.
So the content creator is there to capture some of their moments, and they can deliver it the next day. So you've got content
Yes.
to share on your social media the next couple of weeks, and then you can do your here's my wedding album type thing. So I think that's what people will go for. It's that quick energy, fun. Their content creators are the ones that would do them kind of viral videos of everybody wearing the same glasses and get that type of fun viral footage.
I'm
And
also
then you're
thinking this would be great for Ian's birthday because I was looking at getting a photographer. Do I want that? I don't know. I don't want people to. Oh, okay. I just think this is a more of a relaxed
yeah,
version of actually what I would like.
yeah. And it's another, I think that's great for Ian's birthday because it is a bit more informal.
Hmm.
But if you think about a wedding, it's another camera. I don't know if they do it on a phone or a camera. I don't really know. It's another camera going around looking
Hmm.
at different angles of stuff. So you end up with a lot more
Yeah. And
footage.
also, I presume that if maybe you're having a smaller wedding, smaller budget, I presume they don't cost as much because they're not editing any photos. It's literally raw footage.
You could just have them.
Yeah. This is a great idea.
Yep, wedding content creators.
Get them to capture all that oyster content so that you can become a TikTok viral, influencer.
Sensation.
Yeah. Look at me in my, oyster tasting area with my content creator.
Exactly.
I'm here for it.
Right up with the kids.
Mm.
I also think if we just go to food, parking the oyster bar,
Hmm.
if we go to food, I think we're going to have less structured sit down 3-course meals, more sharing menus,
Hmm.
table platters, grazing places, dessert bars, that
Hmm.
type of thing. And then I think I've seen quite a few people saying that they're going to have late night food. So you have your canapes or whatever you have, then you have your main meal, and then you have your dessert, and then you have your evening guest meal, whatever that is. But then just before everybody leaves, you bring out like the late night food, which is like a cereal bar
You
or
know where this is
loaded
stemmed
chips.
from? This is from the Happy Meal on departure
Yeah,
idea that we had.
I
Well,
know. The whole
you had.
wedding industry is just revolving around our ideas, Jen.
We are on the cusp of genius.
Yeah,
We saw this coming months ago.
I know. But yeah, I think we're going to do, which is nice, give some people some food so they don't throw up in the taxi home.
True. But then they could also throw that on the floor of the taxi, but oh well.
Well, if you do cereal bar, like I saw one, there was a couple of inspo pictures and they had like big glass jars of like all different cereals, and then you could put your milk in and just sit on the floor and eat your cereal.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. And
Love that.
that wouldn't need to cost that much either,
No,
would it?
no.
Or you could just buy lots and lots of, what are the little variety packs? The tiny
Yes.
little.
And then you just pour your milk in there. Eat that with a spoon in your little cardboard box and the bag.
Perfect.
This is a great idea. If you try any of these trends, please tag us in all of your content.
I think that's about it.
Well, I think that is great. I'm looking forward to. Can you make sure that you save your notes so that we can come back in a year's time and just review whether you
Okay.
were right or wrong? Can't wait.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank
I
you.
don't. I just don't think the oil. I mean, if I'm proven wrong, I'm proven wrong. But I just don't think the oysters are gonna come off to anything.
I mean, I secretly want to win. So I secretly want everybody to have an oyster bar. However, there's part of me that's like, just don't do it. It's gross.
It's also high risk. It's like, oh, I know what we're gonna serve: sushi. No, don't do that.
Can you imagine if you turned up to a wedding, there's an oyster bar. Oh, that's quite exciting. I'm going to try that. Have a lovely cocktail that I've rung my bell. Then I've had a beautiful sharing platter on my table, had a really nice experience. And then at night, here's a cereal. There's a box of cereal
Yes, a box of cereal to go.
to go.
This sounds like my kind of wedding.
Yeah.
Although I've never had an oyster, so
Have you seen one?
yeah, but I quite like seafood, so the look of it doesn't really put me off. It's that you don't chew it, you just swallow the big ball thing. I just can't even say it without feeling a bit sick.
It's like a big piece of snot.
I'm just not a fan. I'm not sure. I don't say no to a lot of things, but I've never tried one.
Well, you never know. This year might be the
This
year. We
year,
might turn up to do a wedding and they might be setting up oysters and you can.
would you like to try one, girls? Here you go. Here's your trend coming to life. You can go first.
Oh no, I've got one more.
Okay,
I've got one more to finish us off. Is that
okay,
okay?
go for it.
And I think it's really important, this one. Celebrant-led ceremonies.
Hmm.
And the reason I didn't want to forget this is because I only found out about this about 2 years ago, that a celebrant-led ceremony was a thing.
Hmm.
I just thought you either went to the church and had your vicar, or you had your registrar that the local council sent you.
Yeah.
No, there's a whole thing about celebrants, and they come and they personalise your ceremony, and you can do pretty much anything you like. There's, really nice things where you can tie ribbons, you can make a cocktail if you wanted. So I just think adding to that personalisation and making your day a bit more of an experience.
Yeah.
I think celebrant-led weddings,
Yeah, I think so
and we
too.
know a few really, really good ones.
Yeah, we do. Great. What a great roundup, Em, of 2024 trends.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to a year's time where we can review them.
Okay.
Please like, subscribe, rate, review our podcast on whatever platform you listen or watch us on now that we are back on video. Ooh. Keep up to date with the podcast by following our Instagram account. It's at the I Do Crew podcast. Send us your dilemmas, questions, or topics that you'd like us to cover, and we will cover those off in this season. Next week we're talking all things choosing your wedding style. But until then, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
You've been listening to the I Do Crew podcast with Jen and Emma. Keep up to date with our podcast news by following our I Do Crew podcast Instagram account. Thanks for listening.